The topics discussed and the information provided on this program is for general information. The hosts of this show are not medical professionals and are expressing their personal views and stories related to their individual lives. Their views are not intended to be used or taken as medical information. If you or a family member have suffered a traumatic brain injury, you should seek help from a practicing licensed physician.
We hope to help you. We want you to know that there's some life after the hurt.
And I'm one of the ones after the hurt. And I'm with a couple other people today after the hurt. Malin has taken a couple shows off because I'm calling together a support group of nothing but survivors. We've had survivors on our show before. We've had doctors on the show before. We've had therapists and other achievements of professional and successful brain injury after the injury life. I almost called it afterlife. And it's not all about that, you know. It's everyday life. You go back to it one way or the other. You're going to recover. Whether it's on your own with all the skills and all the hydrobarics and everything available to mankind, you're going to recover, or just sitting there eating a banana that somebody throws you 9 times a day. You're going to recover. It's the nature of your beast. You're a human being. So as a survivor, and once the professionals are gone in the first year or two, a lot of the help starts fading away. You wonder, gee, what am I going to do? Is there anybody out there? And there is. You know, you look for support groups. And support groups in every kind of abuse there is. There's support groups for every kind of addiction there is. There's support groups for every kind of mother you is, probably. But when you get into the medical aspects of it, and I've been to cancer survivor meetings too, support's what you look for. People like you. People who's been in the same spot you've been in. People are doing the same stuff you do every day before you go to bed and you get up. Because it's a wonderful life that we live. So, before I get too off into it, I have a couple of survivors with me today. I have Brandon Hughes. He's from Newcastle, Indiana.
Hello.
Go Trojans. And Gary Turner, a well-known Indiana survivor name, if you will, inside the circles. He's from Van Buren, Indiana, which most you Red Devil people would know certainly is close to Marion, Indiana. Go Giants.
Mary Giants.
Anyway, and I'm going to let them talk, so I'm trying to get them warmed up to everything, and here we go. I want Gary to talk a little bit. Well, Brandon's sitting beside me. Let's talk about, because you're not a leader, you're just, you go to support groups, you look for them. Right now you go to Pat Webb's group in Muncie.
Yep. Well, I go to just about any I can find and any I'm available to go to.
Because you feel...
know, my availability is just scarce because I just become a daddy.
Well, congratulations on that,
Yeah.
but yeah, you live in Muncie, or in Newcastle,
Yeah.
and there's no support groups.
There's none there, and
Ours is
I've had the
defunct, if you will.
opportunity to start one, but unfortunately by myself, I don't really have the organization to start one. I need help with it, and I, don't really have much assistance with that because my wife's not on board, and I'm on live TV. Oops. No. Leave it there. Maybe she'll see it.
Honey, you'll be fine. You know, you look for support because, I'm not going to get into your age, but it's been, 10, 12 years since your accident?
2002.
2002?
Yeah.
Man, we're getting old, ain't we?
Oh my God, dude.
So,
I remember when Road 3 was a 2-lane highway.
there you go. And he looks young, but he isn't. You know, his accident happened, and Brandon's one of the many facets that we go into in our recovery aspect is, we stay younger. He likes to keep a young attitude about him all the time. His kid's going to love him.
Got to.
But he still wants support. He still looks for people of alike values. I mean, he's married, a family. Nobody's got a brain injury outside of him. They just go about their having to work everyday life. As he helps them, they have to, of course, help him do things, I'm sure. She heard that too.
Oh. Well, my wreck happened when I was 19, and I'm 33 now. But since I happened when I was 19, I think I might have kind of got stuck there.
Right.
That's all right. That's all right. If only the hair would learn that, the
It's
gray.
not going to.
But so I ironed every damn one of them. Okay.
As our friend Gary Turner can attest on the greatness. Oh, sorry, Gary. This is Gary Turner, and he's a dear friend of mine as well. He lives in Grant County. He's all over northern and in central and east central Indiana helping survivors. There's not a meeting that he doesn't, if he doesn't attend, he might have started it. I know he's currently he run the one in Marion, Indiana, that's been there for ever. To touch on a little bit, I'll let you just go ahead and have the floor. A little bit where you come from, your accident, when because I think we have pictures and things they're going to show, but
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to educate the public, to make people aware that brain injury is a reality for many folks out there. One thing statistically that shocks me, if you take all the HIV and AIDS cases, all the MS, multiple sclerosis cases, all the spinal cord injury cases, all the breast cancer cases, take that times 6, and that's how many brain injuries you have.
It's a lot of math for me, but sure.
Yeah, but yet it's a silent epidemic. Why don't people talk about it? Well, very few people like me will get up on camera and say, "Hi, I'm Gary Turner. I have a brain injury."
And thank you for doing that, because that is what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah.
I know people in South Africa, my radio shows goes around the world.
Right.
I know
right.
people in different, and I get to talk to them, internet, Skype, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The world, they're 50, 70 years behind us in brain injury recovery.
Yeah.
I know people, wealthy farmers that are taking their Olympic daughters that's got a brain injury because she fell off a horse, and they throw her away, and they throw,
Yeah.
We used to do that. That's back in the day.
I've had people come up to me and say, "Well, Gary, your brain injury happened 28 years ago. Get over it." Okay. Yeah, that's...
It's not an ex-wife.
No, yeah, exactly. I'd like to share something from a friend of mine, Mike Strand, and
You don't get into quoting Mike early. You give the Mike some pub early.
Yeah.
I like you, Mike. Tell.
But in his book, Meditations on Brain Injury, these are very, very short excerpts he's written.
Mike's got an intelligent point of view from brain injury side of life.
Yeah. He says, let's be realistic. It's a very hard thing to see past your brain injury. No one can see it, and you can see little else. That is, in my opinion, one of the primary reasons for support groups. Being among others who can understand your loss helps you validate your feelings. And I want to emphasize that, validate your feelings. We're not crazy. validate your feelings, and this allows you to move on and heal. So to me, that's very powerful. You know,
It is.
It's not support. I don't need support to be brain injured survivor. I can do it by myself. You know, I need support to be validated. One thing I have a strong feeling against is being looked at. A strong fear is being looked at as I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. You're not stupid. You're not stupid.
Excuse me.
Crazy,
that's
but
my
not
nickname.
stupid.
But anyway, I'm state certified crazy.
Right.
But and I understand where you're coming from. You know, validate that. You know, we are empowered to be a human being on our own accord.
Right.
Do we need constant 24-hour-a-day care? Well, it doesn't hurt to check in on us from time to time. But, you know, it depends on the situation. You know, like I recently went through a situation and I fell down again, knocked myself, boom, did some things, knocked myself around, yada, yada.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to check in on me, and I have my daughters greatly do that.
Yeah. You know, once you've had a brain injury, you're 3 times more likely to have a second. Once you've had a second, you're 7 times more likely to have a third. And on and on and on. You know.
You're like working on ESPN in the brain injured world. You got all these stats down
Oh,
there.
yeah. I've heard them before. I've lived them. So.
And the starting aneurysm tonight is.
That's right. That's right.
But, right, and that goes with all, you know, everything's a brain injury in my world. They're all, TBI is a strong name that everybody likes, I guess, but identifies with, if they identify at all. You know, BI, what? First of all, traumatic brain injury is its own classification, like aneurysms or different tumors.
Yeah.
They're their own classification, ABIs, on and on. But to me, if you or anybody in your family, any friend of yours has had a brain injury of any type, it's pretty dang traumatic.
Right.
So everybody's got a traumatic brain injury in my world.
Right.
Well, even you people that ain't been hitting the head.
That's
you
the
just wait.
aftermath. That's the aftermath of a brain injury. It's traumatic. There's acquired. There's traumatic. You'll hear some people say everything should be classified as an acquired brain injury, because I, like you, had a normal, quote unquote, life until my accident, and then I acquired it through my car wreck. And it was also traumatic.
You can change the
Brain
words
injury
to
is
roll
brain injury, no matter if you've had it by a stroke, a hemorrhage.
And there's not a bragging ground.
No.
That's my point I'm trying to make, and I try to make with so many people.
Yep.
And, you know, this is coming right from the words of a man that died 6 times in a week. You know, there is no top of the game, bottom of the game. It's traumatic. It hurts. Your kid got a concussion, and he was out for 2 hours. Huh? You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty traumatic to everybody involved.
Yeah. And it's so unpredictable. That's why it's so hard to be treated, and that's why it's so hard to understand. Is it's so unpredictable, and you get frustrated. And doctors just, they say, "How is he going to do?" I don't know. What's he going to be like? I don't know. How long is this going to take? I don't know. No, it's true. They don't know. It's unpredictable.
Right. You don't know why you're here, do you? You know, I don't know. Why are you? I don't know. I'm the surgeon. Why are you here? Support.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got to give you some words, and you're going to argue back. I got a body to take care of. You know.
Medical field, they
It's all-
treat us, our blood pressures, our fractures, our, you know, obvious injuries. Go through the therapy. Once our insurance runs out, we're set out on our own. That's where
Regardless.
support groups come in. It's when we're on our own and we start saying, wait a minute, where's all these get well cards that I was getting? Where's all the therapies I was getting? Where's all the nurses giving me medicines? You know.
Well, that's where people sign up for. They need to get into a waiver program early on. Sign up to get into the waiver program. I don't know if you are or not, Brandon.
No, I don't know. I don't know what
Then
it
you're
is,
not.
or
You
I
got to
don't
get with
know.
it.
I don't know.
With your area 6 probably in Newcastle, area 6 representative, I'm guessing. We're area 9
I need
here in
help
Wayne
with
County.
a lot of different
Yeah,
stuff.
we're on area 6.
Just,
Yeah.
It's called live streams. I really believe in our area. live streams, and it's out of Newcastle.
And, you know, Newcastle has a lot of help for mentally disabled people just to begin with in general. If you're born that way or, you know, became that way, however it became.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Good point.
people that might watch this show might understand that we've had some Miracle League baseball shows on before. Newcastle is fantastic in supporting the people with disabilities mentally.
Yeah,
Just wonderful.
yeah.
Why do I know? I travel Indiana as much as I can because I don't like sitting in Milton, Indiana. I love Milton, Indiana, but I want to get out and about, and I
Yeah.
can't get out. And I don't run the bars anymore. That life ended.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's all good, but I got somewhere to go. You know,
Now,
church to me is what you go just to watch everybody else be happy for a minute. I've already been
Yeah.
to the big church.
Yeah. Can I ask a personal question, Matt?
Yeah.
Do you drive?
No, they don't let me. I've
Okay.
no, I've
Now,
delayed issues or something.
yeah, I can drive.
You know.
That may scare a lot of people, but I do drive.
Well, you drove here from Van Buren.
Yes.
Probably
I
not
do.
as many people
right.
as I scare.
If I didn't drive, I would go. I wouldn't know how to handle it. I would have a different outlook on life. And excuse me if I'm talking too fast and not being understood.
You
Just
talk
a-
just as fine and perfect as you. You're doing great, man.
my
Don't worry about it.
My dentures are slipping.
Get you a drink, take a break, do what you want. We'll take a hesitation.
I get excited because there's so much information.
I got the big man in the shop today. This will be cleared right on out. No,
Support groups, starting up a support group.
well, we can get into part of the support groups. You know, we'll probably be here for a couple talks if you want. I know you're on the board of directors of the Indiana Brain Injury Association. We'll save that for a talk maybe here on another show after a bit. You might stay around.
Okay.
We'll talk about support groups and you know, you've just had a stroke. You've just picked yourself up off the earth, or somebody did. You know, some reason you got a brain injury in your family, some regard. You know, the hospitals, the therapists, everybody that was good, nice, practiced, did what they had to, ignored you, whatever, that's over with. Now what do? So you got to find a support group. We have listed the name of all the support groups that I know of in Indiana at this time this morning. And we were great in this state as far as nationwide. We had 22 support groups in Indiana at one time.
Still do.
Do we still have 22?
Yep.
I know.
We started one recently as last November, I believe, was the last one added.
One in Anderson, maybe?
No, that was added about a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But we've got one in Wabash. Since Marion started, I've had branch off to Wabash, Anderson, Julie Workman, who I believe is going to be your guest some other time or another show. She started one in
Mooresville.
Mooresville. She's
Yeah.
from Mooresville, so I don't know if it's in Johnson County, I think.
Yeah, it's right there beside on southwestern
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they're still starting up.
And it's not been that long in 4 or 5 years since we started one here in Richmond, Indiana, because there'd been one vacated that had been there before. It had been vacated out. And then I worked extensively with Anna Garrett. Matter of fact, I helped her rewrite that one book that they're giving around now to how to start a support group.
Yeah.
Because we started the Richmond support group as the model for that book. Joni Goins was my support group liaison, if you will, from the speech therapist side. We was really strong. We started off strong, and it just weakened down and down and down and down. And
It's not easy.
I'm not going to recruit. You know, I'm not going to go ask people, do you need help?
Yeah.
You know, it's available. I try to put things in. They put it in a newspaper for you for free.
Yeah.
You know, it's a public service. Commercial is what they call it, or whatever.
But Matt, I found that what I've gone through and what I see other people gone through is initially you take the injury and the people are in the hospital. You want to reach out to them then. HIPAA will not allow that.
Right.
Will not give out information while you're hospitalized or let you go in there and solicit members.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then when you get out, the families are all hoping for the best. And they have no idea what lies ahead of them. If you had, that could be a whole nother trauma that you have to deal with. You know what's going to come happen.
Right,
It's unpredictable. So, but what I try to emphasize is you died physically. I don't know if you died physically or not. I did not physically die, but I did. Gary Turner died from what he was before the accident.
Right.
So Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in 1969 wrote a paper or a book on death and dying. And in that studies, she started talking about death and dying or the grief process. There is first stage, denial. And that stage can last a long time. And then you get into anger. That's one of the favorite stages. Is we jump right back into anger because we love that stage. Mm-hmm. Then we get into bargaining. And that's like, a lot of times it goes to your higher power. You know, God, help me. You help me and I'll go to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and I'll join the choir. I'll lead Sunday school class.
My knees hurt. I'm on the ground so much.
Yeah. You start bargaining. And then you get into depression. Then the last stage, you finally accept. But what you go through...
But they don't necessarily have to go in natural order.
No.
Not with a brain injury, because we're goofy to begin with is kind of what... I'm sorry, I didn't mean the word say goofy. I am.
Don't point fingers.
Because our brains are all, they're mixed around. There's, there's a gap. Part of your brain, if you have a brain injury, they've had your fingers in your brain to do something, repair it, work on it. I like keeping things... I don't like using all the big words. It just wears me out, people. I don't want to understand. I just know what they mean. When they get in there and they do this kind of damage to that spongy type material inside your brain, it hurts.
Yeah.
And thank gosh there's no nerve. I was awake for most of my head surgeries.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I mean, I was knocked out, but no, there's no pain, no feel, no nerve sensation. But there's a lot of confusion following, all the neurons, everything getting mixed around. And the part that actually settled in and did get hit. Thank you, Dr. Backhauser. Let me explain this correctly. It is dead. It's always going to be a black spot on your MRI. It's always going to be there, a black whatever it might be. That's never coming back.
Right.
So whatever cross communications are going through that from lobe to lobe in your constant thinking progress, you're going to always have I call it brain farce. There's always going to be a missing, what?
Think about, you come going to Indianapolis, right? And right there at the next section west of here on State Road, or I-70 is State Road 3, all right? Then you're used to getting on the, what roads is that here? 27.
Right.
You're used to getting on at that.
Chester Boulevard, right.
Yeah, get on that area and go to Indianapolis. But if they're working on an overpass, you have to go around it. That takes a little time, but you can still get to your destination by going around it. It takes longer. Same thing with the brain injury. We get from point A to point B, but the road bridge is out, and so we have to go around it. And we practice it gets
slow
easier.
and thorough, and you develop your own strategies to avoid things like that. Is what you work with and do.
Yeah.
I want you to know, and you do know, and a lot of people, because I know we've attempted, and you've done to some schools in Indianapolis. I did, and I know Gary's pulled away from the same school and turned around and went back to it. We've had those discussions.
Yeah.
You go to these things because you want to recover. Whether this is the way you like recovering or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
What else you got to do? You want to recover, you got to go do the work. You're good, brother.
Is that realistic? To recover from something that you've lost?
The brain's a big one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think we're running on. We kind of run like soccer here. Once I run out of time, I'm on that time. I'm being yellow card.
Mainly
Thanks
a
much.
mental
I'll see you all
thing,
next
sure.
month. Gary, Brandon, thank you so much for coming down and joining me. I'll see you again real soon.
Thank you very much.